Are you interested in getting into real estate to buy income producing properties to build your wealth, but do not know how to get started or even how to evaluate a property? Well, you need to know that you have to continue to the only way to make it in real estate and to really build a large portfolio or to build even a few properties and to be successful at it. One of the easiest things you can do that I like to do is I continue to, your net worth is your net worth. You can just be the expert in your space, which is So now you're making great progress. You know your why, you know why you're getting into real estate, what your motivation is, and what direction you might be heading in. You also got yourself educated. So now you have some more tools, education, you have some contacts that can help you along the way. Now, the next big step here, which is super important for you as a real estate professional, is you need to make sure you know the terminology and, more importantly, the math that is associated with doing real estate and buying deals. Especially in this video, we're talking about buying rental properties. And so when it comes to buying rental properties, there is so many different numbers that you need to know and be aware of in order for you to correctly evaluate deals to make sure you buy the property right. Because you may have heard this saying before, but you don't make your money on a real estate deal the day you sell it or the day you lease it. You make it the day you buy it. And what that means simply is by you evaluating that property from day one, before you make that purchase, you should know what basically you're going to make. When you go to sell it, if it was a flip property or in this case a lease property, you're going to know what you're leasing that property for, what the expenses are, what you have into that property, what your return on investment is, what your cap rate is, what your profit and your monthly cash flow is going to be. You should know all these things from day one. Now, you will have things that come up that, will get you off course, maybe go over budget a little bit here or there. But if you're educated and you know the process through and through, you know to add in miscellaneous costs. You know to make sure you include X, Y, Z expenses to where when you do have those unexpected things come up or you get to different parts in the process, it's not a surprise to you. You already accounted for that expense. You already accounted for that thing that came up, and it just makes it to where that deal is something that can be successful from you from day one. So the first day that you buy it, you should celebrate because you know from that day, because you are now an educated investor, you are now an educated investor that is highly motivated. So go out and celebrate because you did all the hard work and now you have a property that is going to produce some income for you to help you build your wealth and build your empire. So now you're probably thinking, well, all right, there's all this math and all these terms and all these different things that I need to know. It just sounds like a lot. You're right. It is a lot. There is so much that goes into evaluating these properties, and we definitely don't have enough time to cover all of that today. But I will take a few moments here and just give you an idea. As promised at the beginning of this video, I'm offering you now my buy and hold rental analyzer that you can use in your own real estate business. And so we're going to take a peek over to the screen real quick, and that way you can get a look at what this rental analyzer looks like, and so you can get an idea of some of the things that you should be looking at as you're evaluating these properties. And so again, you can take some of this information from today and from the screenshot that I'm about to show you here and basically develop your own system, your own way of doing it, whether it's on back of a napkin or you're doing it on a scratch sheet of paper somewhere. Maybe you build your own spreadsheet, however you plan to do it. But if you want to make this process a whole lot easier for you, I already did the work for you. I have all the math calculated into the spreadsheet. Everything that you need is there already for you. You're one click away and you could have your very own rental analyzer to start analyzing deals today. Remember, just like we said about making contacts earlier and professional contacts that can help you along the way, look at me as a professional contact here to help you. And so why, you don't want to go spend a bunch of time trying to recreate something that's already there when you could take advantage of it right now and start utilizing it. Time is money, my friend. Time is money, and your time is precious, and your time needs to be more spent being out there in the field looking for deals and evaluating deals, not sitting behind a desk trying to figure out how to code spreadsheets. I did that part for you and spent a long time doing it, but it is created, and now you have the buy and hold rental analyzer that you can use starting today. So I hope you didn't think that I was going to go through this entire video and not give you at least a little piece of what this rental analyzer looks like. And so right now I want to go ahead and dive into it and just sort of give you a quick bird eye view of what this buy and hold rental analyzer looks like and what it could do for you and your business. And so let's go ahead and dive in. And of course, this is going to be a short overview. And once you actually purchase the buy and hold rental analyzer, you'll have access to our full tutorial and tips video, which is up here in the right hand corner. You'll be able to click there and get access to a full tutorial that'll go into detail about every single line item on this spreadsheet. And so let's go ahead and start at the top real quick. Again, this is going to be just a very quick overview. But the very top section here on the left, you are able to put in your project address or name. Below that, you can go into what your purchase price is of the property that you're buying. And so this is going to be a must enter value, as you can see written right here. And so we're going to go ahead and put in just for right now so you can see what this sheet does. And I want you to pay attention to a lot of these yellow box areas as I start to put in some of these values, how everything changes because all the math is being done for you. And so for right now, let's just say that we purchased this property for $125,000. And I'm going to go ahead and click down now and watch how things start to change. Excellent. So you can see how that 125 got brought into a few different places, and it also adjusted some of our other pre-calculated formulas as well. Our renovation estimate, let's say in this case here we were spending $25,000 on repairing this home. Okay, and the next line down, a very important tab for this rental analyzer is going to be your estimated after repair value, or also known as your ARV, which can be your appraised value after the project is done. And so for this value here, we're going to go ahead and let's say we bought it at 125, we put 25,000 in rehab, and again, this is just a quick example, but let's say that the value jumped up to this property to $200,000 based on those numbers. Okay, I'm going to tab down. Now you can see how over to the right there, a lot of those yellow blocks just changed when I entered in that $200,000 for the estimated after repair value, or the ARV. And so now that some of your key numbers that are jumped in there, just to look over to the right here real quick, you have a start date and an end date for a project. You could also put in your expected cash flow there. This is sort of just a placeholder here, so you can put in what you think you might be making on that particular property. Just gives you something to look back at a later date and see how close either above or under you were on guessing those potential cash flows. And it could help you make adjustments in the future. All right, over to the left here, and we're not going to go through every item here. Again, you'll have the full tutorial and tips section that you'll be able to get on once you actually purchase the buy and hold rental analyzer to go through every single one of these line items in full detail. And so for right now though, under this projected total expenses, you can see how our purchase price got dropped down into this yellow block. And this is also a great time to mention any yellow block that you see on this spreadsheet is going to be a block that has a formula attached to it. And so these are going to be blocks that you cannot change or alter. And we did that for a reason, because some of these blocks, especially like our mortgage blocks, which you could see over in this section here, these mortgage blocks have very detailed formulas to be able to calculate those mortgage rates based on interest and the amortization of the loan and so forth. And so very important, those yellow blocks, you're unable to change any of that information, but the white blocks, you're able to add in numbers, or in this case, notes here on the side, for example. As we go down this sheet here, you can see you have some closing fees, whether it's commissions or other costs associated with the purchase of the property. So you're able to add all those fees in there. Our renovation estimate jumped down here into our line items as well. Next, you have a section to put in how many months you think this renovation will cost. And, I'm sorry, not how much it will cost, but how many months you think this renovation will take. And so you could figure out how much that cost will actually be. And just to give you an example here, if I put this project's going to take 6 months, and I bounce down here, and then I start to fill out some of this other information, you'll see how things start to adjust here as well for you. So let's just say that we had a private lender on this particular property, and that private lender was charging us $1,000 a month up to the point of refinancing or leasing that property. All right, if I click down, you can see there how some of the math here has been done for us, which is amazing. And that is one of the big benefits of having a spreadsheet ready for you, because you do not have to go and figure out all these formulas yourself or recreate the wheel. It is here for you and ready to use. And so you can see these loan payments here. The monthly payment would be $1,000, and the annual payment, of course, 1,000 times 12 is going to give you $12,000 for that year. If you look down here at the bottom, though, you can see this yellow block now has $6,000 in it since we entered that figure for the loan payments, and that is coming from the fact that it is $1,000 per month on the interest payment. For 6 months is $6,000. And if you repeat that process for all of the different categories here for holding costs, you're going to come up with a good figure here in that yellow box. Some other miscellaneous places you could fill in expenses, and then of course your refinance expenses here at the bottom. Now, getting over into the stuff that really matters for what you're doing and trying to evaluate these properties to make sure that you have a fantastic deal, or at least one that you think will be fantastic from day one, that just from looking at your numbers and your rough estimates. So up here, if you're going to do a cash only purchase, this means that you're not planning on refinancing this property, you're just purchasing cash and you plan to hold it cash for long term. You can see here how our after repair value is thrown into this box here. Of course, our LTV, or our loan to value, is going to be 0 in this case since there is no loan associated for a cash purchase. Our expenses get thrown in and so forth. You can also see how, depending on what LTV you went with, whether it's cash or say 80%, 65%, whatever it might be, it's going to let you know if you're able to get cash out of that property because you were able to add enough equity into that property by rehabbing it, or if you were leaving money cash invested in the project. And so this is a great tool, really great tool here that can tell you very quickly what LTV you're using and what cash out or cash invested you're going to be looking like. You also have places here, now we get into the monthly expenses, to where you can see what your overall cash flow will be, which I know cash flow is super, super important to you because it is important to me as well as a real estate investor. So in these sections here, you can put in what you think you can lease the property for. You also have your mortgage terms, which is going to be different for everybody. Again, these are white boxes that you can change. Your management fees, your maintenance, your vacancy, you can change all those rates there. And you could look down at your rental expenses here, which once you start filling out that information, a lot of this information down here is going to be pre-populated for you. And you could see over here, which I think I mentioned earlier already, but your mortgage payments are going to already be formulated for you, which is a very, very hard formula that is worked into here, a very complicated formula, should I say, that's worked into this spreadsheet to do those mortgages for you. So you do not have to go to a third-party mortgage calculator or anything like that to try and get estimates on what your potential mortgage would be based on the LTVs. It is already there for you. Really cool stuff, and makes it super easy and efficient and fast for you to evaluate these deals. And as we're looking more at these expenses here, you can see there are a few white boxes on here as well, like for your HOA fees, if they apply, and also a blank that you could put in other expenses. I know in some cases there are added expenses that may be sort of a wild card, and so this area here gives you a place to do that. And just to give you an example here, you can see a lot of zeros here, but I want to show you how some figures start to populate in there. If we go back to our hazard insurance here on this side, I'm going to go ahead and put in, let's say we're paying $1,200 for hazard insurance. I'm going to pop off of there. You can see here how the monthly broke down. 1,200 divided by 12. It did $100 a month for you here, and also added it to this yellow column here at the bottom. But more importantly, what I want to show you is based on this estimate here, it threw it into your monthly expenses here for your overall monthly, and of course, which adds up to your annual cash flows, expenses, to figure out your cash flows. So the cash flow marker is going to be here at the bottom, which is going to be done for every single LTV or cash purchase.
You can look at your ROIs, and in this case, we sort of have some wacky numbers here because, of course, we haven't filled in every single number. This is just a quick example and overview. And in case of a cash purchase, you do have a cap rate here as well. And so you could just see, just from this quick example, how great of a tool this can be and how much this could benefit you and your business.
So wouldn't you say that would be a helpful tool in your business? If you had access to that today, how much time would you save and how much more comfortable would you feel buying a property, a rental property that you can add to your portfolio? I know me personally, once this was created and I started using this in my business, things exploded. It was so much easier to evaluate deals. I was able to evaluate deals quicker, and I was able to make better decisions on if it was a good deal or a bad deal right away. And that is very important because, again, time is money. And so if you had access to a tool like this today, how would it improve your business? And look, if you're serious about building wealth, you need to jump on this tool right now, because this could be your secret weapon to either get you started the right way, or if you're already started, to take your business to the next level. And so I just hope you enjoyed this video. I loved going over, everything about buying these rental properties and getting started. And I'm going to continue to do more videos that are going to be more in-depth about evaluating these properties. But this is a great starting place for you to get going and for you to jump in, find that why, start educating yourself, get the right tools, and start evaluating deals. Because even if you don't buy a deal today, if you don't buy a deal tomorrow, if you don't buy a deal next week, next month, at least you're practicing. You have the right tool that you need. You're practicing evaluating these deals. And when the right deal comes your way, you're going to be ready to pull the trigger and feel comfortable and confident that you made the right decision. And that's what I want for you. I want you to feel confident when you buy your property. And overall, I want you to be successful when you buy your first property or your 100th property or whatever property it is. I want you to feel better about the process and know that you're making money, know that you're building wealth, and leading yourself down that road to building true financial freedom. Because again, it's not just all about making money. Money is great, but that is not the end result that we should really be going for. We should be going for a greater purpose. And for me personally, my greater purpose is that I want that financial freedom. Because if I can have that financial freedom, then I could focus on all the other areas of my life that much more, like my health and fitness, my mindset, time with my family, and just so many more things that I want to do. I want to do traveling. I want to, play guitar. I want to do all these different things. But if I'm stuck in a job, if I'm having to work, 18 hours a day and do all these different crazy things, then I'm not able to focus on what I want to do. And buying rental properties, building residual income is a way to get to financial freedom, to free your time up, which time is just such a limited and valuable resource. And so by buying these properties and getting started in real estate, you are setting yourself up to have all the financial freedom that you want. Again, if you haven't already, click that link below also and go ahead and get your very own buy and hold rental analyzer today. Don't wait. It's going to make a difference in your business. And so thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time. Get out there and build your empire. Thanks for watching this video, and if you're ready to take your business or personal life to the next level, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and become a part of the Empire Your Life community. And if you look over to the side here, those are the videos that you need to see next. And don't be shy about sharing them with friends and family. Somebody else might be able to use that information in their life today. So continue to get out there and build your empire.